What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Tough Runs Don't Last podcast. I'm Graham Powell on this screen here, and that's Michelle Zingoulis on this screen here. Say what's popping, Michelle.
What's poppin', Michelle?
Well, we got a few things to talk about. Before we get started, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor. The Tough Runs Don't Last podcast, as you all know, is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the one of a kind Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience. Track it with your fitness app of choice. Screenshot your results as proof of completion. Submit your screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your reward will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section while you're there for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series. You can find us, the Tough Runs Don't Last podcast, on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on X, Instagram, and TikTok at TR Don't Last. I'm a little tired, so the words are getting fumbled around a little bit, but it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Michelle and I are both tired. We just got back maybe 30, 45 minutes ago from Memphis, and I did the hometown half marathon. Michelle was there for support and also to film.
Well,
We,
we can talk more about that later, though.
I figured that was us talking about it now. I
Yeah,
don't. Okay, well, what do we talk about now then?
the race.
Well, it was the hometown half marathon, Memphis edition. It's a Bodies Racing Company race. It's one of 3 hometown half marathons I'm doing. So I'm wearing the shirt from last year, which I do like better. I like last year's shirt better. It's the baseball style tee. Um, I just like it better than the one I got this year, and not crazy about it. It's not a bad shirt. I just really like this one, and I've become a big fan of yellow lately. Rocking my Grizzlies hat, which I got because I like the hat. 2, it was yellow and it was different. And 3, I just like yellow and this blue combo. Looks good. And 4, we were in Memphis. Did I already say that?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if 4 would be as many as I listed, but yeah. We were in Memphis, so it felt appropriate to rock my Grizzlies hat. And with the NBA Finals coming up on Thursday, the Grizzlies are in it, but it's what it is. But yes, we arrived with it being Memphis. Michelle lived in Memphis for a while, so kind of had to hook up on spots to see, etc. while we were there. So we got there. We both went to the Arkansas Travelers game Friday night, and basically when we got out of there, we basically showered and went to sleep essentially, and both got up the next day and packed up my car and then went to Memphis and made pretty good timing. Had coffee before we left town. Um, got into town pretty much right when Rendezvous opened, the mega famous barbecue joint in downtown Memphis. I can see why it's as big as it is. Um, right in the middle of everything downtown. Old building, but like cool building. Really looks really cool on the inside. It's huge, and the food's pretty darn good too. So that was our first stop was Rendezvous. I got the ribs and brisket combo, delicious. I gave a thorough review on both on our blog that we have coming out whenever we get around to it. Um, do we just want to go and talk about that a little bit?
I feel like we should talk about Memphis and the race and talk about that at the end.
Yeah. Um, anyway, I did a review on it. You'll be able to check it out whenever that comes out, whenever that may be. We'll keep you posted on that. But went to Rendezvous, ate, and we had a while till we had to go check into our hotel, which ended up not being our hotel. We'll get into that later. But then we went to the Memphis Zoo. Very good time. I got to see all the animals. It was the middle of the day, and even though it was May 30th, and typically when it was warm, but not as warm as it normally is, maybe this time of year.
And
Here
it was
in
low 80s.
Yeah, but warm enough that you want to. I mean, we worked up a bit of a sweat,
Yeah.
and At least my back certainly felt it, and on the backpack. Um, but we saw all the things we wanted to see at the Memphis Zoo. We were there for what, like 3 hours?
Mhm.
What was your favorite animal at the zoo?
All the bears, all the bears.
You didn't have a particular bear.
No, I was really excited about seeing the polar bear because it's obviously like a little bit warmer, but she was very active. She was swimming around. We got to see her eat some lettuce
Oh, girl.
because I know it's a girl polar bear. I've been to the talk before and they've said that it's a female. Like I know it's a girl.
How long ago was
Like 4 years ago, 5 years
that? I
ago.
don't think there's a chance it could be a different polar bear.
No, the same polar bear. Um, but then the grizzly bears were also being super cute. And so that was super fun. And one of them was like laying and had his leg over a log, just chilling. And the other one was like laying on top of, I can't remember if it was a rock or a log,
It's a log.
but just like laying, like looking around.
It was one arm over. That's what it was doing.
It
One arm
was
over. Just,
so one had one leg, the other one had one arm, just chilling. They were cute. What was yours?
I have a couple. See, like every animal is sleeping, and I don't blame them. I'd sleep during the day when all the annoying, loud people are there too. I 100% get it. It's hot. I'm gonna get in the shade. I'm gonna sleep. I'll come out when all you idiots go home, and that's when I'll come out, and then and obviously feeding time. I get it from their perspective. Totally makes sense, but it didn't make for entertaining trip to an extent for me. But again, I understand their side of it. I was most excited about seeing the tiger. So of course we walk in. There's the cat exhibit there. We go straight there, right? I'm excited. I'm gonna go see a tiger. Tiger's at the very back of the thing. You can barely see it. It's like this. I mean, it's just straight chilling. Not interested in any of us people. As far away from us as possible. Again, if I were Tiger, I would be doing the exact same thing. Probably get in my den and not even come out. And just be like, no, I'm good. Unless they close the thing, so you're like forced to see them or something like that, which may be the case. Um, I get it from the zoo's perspective. It's like, well, we still got to sell tickets to keep this thing open. Um, I get everybody's side of it. I'm relating to everything right now. But it did make for a very entertaining visit. As far as that portion of it. I got really excited seeing the rhino. The rhinos were up and moving. That was pretty cool. When I think about it though, I think my favorite part was seeing the hippo underwater.
Yeah.
You never saw the hippo above water. It just stayed underwater the whole time. And it was just doing laps in its little pool. It's just doing laps. And it swam by the glass window, the very thick glass window. You missed the best one.
That's what you said.
You had walked away. It would just swim right by it, but at the very end there were these little kids standing there, and it swam right up to the window, like for those of you watching. And then at the very end it just cut. And it scared the crap out of some of the little kids there, which I found hilarious. It was why do you make that face? I say it was funny to me.
Yeah,
And yeah, that was probably my favorite part. Seeing the gorilla side eyeing people was pretty neat.
that was funny.
There were some in the back just like mean mugging, and then there was one who just would side eye everybody and legit side eye. Would just sit here and just. I got a picture of it side eyeing me, and I thought it was great.
You know, another thing that I enjoyed, the orangutan.
Yeah, that was good too. Explain.
He had like a branch with some leaves on it. Um,
How do
and
you know it was God?
that's Rowan. He just celebrated like his sixth birthday or something like that. There was a sign. So Rowan was there and he had a branch with leaves on it. And when we walked up, he was wearing it like a hat. Just had the leaves on his head. It was funny. It was cute. And then at one point he took it off. Like people were taking pictures and he took it off and like held it in front of him so that people couldn't see him. And he was blocking his face. And then he put it back on his head and was like, you know what? Never mind. And so he went around his like one of the like jungle gym type things.
play area.
He went around it and he laid down and like put it over his head like you would if you were like laying outside and the sun was too bright.
So you're not doing it justice though. He laid out like just had a rough
He did
day
just
and
like
just
sprawl
spread
down.
out
Yeah.
like it was a bed and just lay in the grass like that and then just put it over his face. Yeah, the orangutan was hilarious. Definitely had a sense of humor. The monkeys were very cool. I liked them. They were. I even liked the ones with the long, shaggy tails, and with there was that one looking up in the corner, like,
Just
but
like staring everyone down.
yeah, looking like that dishwasher that had been at this barbecue place in Memphis for 47 years and was just fed up with everybody. He just had that face, just looking at everybody from across the dining room, and he was doing it at the top of his little jungle gym area.
That's fun.
They're cool. They're pretty, like
Yeah,
pretty monkeys though.
they were very nice.
Zoo was fun, but we got out of there, went to check into our hotel, which was, we didn't necessarily realize this. It was around Mount Moriah, correct? And explain, I'll let you take over. Explain the situation.
It's just not a very nice area of Memphis. Like that's just the best way of putting it. Um, we pull up to the hotel and the hotel, like you can tell they've got construction going
A
on.
lot of construction, even at the very front.
Like, yeah, there were like barricades up in front of like the main door to get in, and everything was overgrown, like bushes, grass. It was just not like very clean on the outside.
Wasn't well kept. The landscaping, there
Yeah.
was a lot of foliage for a Marriott hotel.
Yeah, it did not live up to what like a Marriott should be. And
The
so
parking lot was at least gated.
well,
See,
part of it
yeah,
was.
see, I was no, that would have been my plan. Had we checked in, I'd have been like, yeah, give us the code and we're gonna go. Because we were basically just gonna we were gonna check in, hang out for a bit, go get dinner, and then come back and to the hotel, and then just basically that was it,
Yeah.
like till 5 a.m. Or yeah, so
But we pulled into a parking spot and I literally just said, I'm not staying here. So look,
I was willing to at least go in and see, but even I was okay with leaving. I was like, no, this looks very sketch.
I did not feel comfortable and I wanted to be in a place that I felt comfortable sleeping for the night. So we found another hotel that was actually closer to the race site anyway. And we went over there. We checked in there, no problems. It was very clean, very nice staff.
Oh yeah,
Like
gorgeous.
it
Like
was night and day difference. And they were
street.
both Marriott hotels, like both same type of Marriott hotel. So they were both Marriott courtyards. And one was amazing and one was not. And when I we went to check in and I was telling the front desk worker like the situation because technically there'd be two reservations for the same night under my name. And when I said Mount Moriah, she even was like, "Well, it's Mount Moriah. What did you expect?" So, but very nice, very helpful in
Yeah,
getting
so
us
she
in
didn't say
there.
it like that. It was basically like, yeah, it's Mount Moriah. I can understand why you don't feel safe
Yeah.
there. But yeah, we got a room there, no problem, and had a very comfortable stay.
Yep. Ended up having a balcony.
It
So
was
that was
barely used,
yeah,
but
but it was nice.
yeah, the cucumber water was great. I got it a couple times. I'm kind of sad for you. You missed out on it, but I tried to get you to try it. Yeah, and so we got checked in, hung out for a bit, went and had Gus's fried chicken for dinner, the Germantown version of it, not downtown, because Germantown we're ways from downtown. At that point, I didn't want to go back into town because I'm trying to get some food in me and get back and poop. And I want to say it just for you, but true. And get ready for bed. Also, we needed to shower. We'd been at the zoo all day. We had went to Gus's and it's been a long time since I've been to the original, but I don't see it being much different. It was that good.
It was
What we had
really
last night.
good. I had the chicken tenders, and honestly, probably the best chicken tenders I've ever had. So good. The the breading was like crunchy, crispy, which is exactly what I like. It was ideal chicken tender.
It was like cod batter. Like if you get fish and chips, how the batter is on the cod, it was like that with the chicken, except it wasn't. It was well done to where it doesn't like it didn't flake off the chicken or anything like that. It stayed on. And after eating fried chicken, I'm thinking as of one, it was piping hot, because it was fresh out the fryer. So I mean, you had to pull it apart and let it cool down for a while before it burned your face off. But very good once you got past that point. And I was afraid while I was eating it because I was thinking, I'm eating fried chicken the night before. I don't know if this is the best idea. I'm probably not going to feel very great. Felt perfectly fine. It wasn't, it's like you said, it wasn't greasy. They had a piece of white bread under it.
Yeah,
You lift the chicken off the white bread, nothing, no grease or anything.
like just a dry piece of bread,
Yeah.
but not like dry,
If
but
anything, you got a little moisture just because it was piping hot.
hot.
It was
Yes.
so hot out the fryer. But yeah, no grease, not greasy or anything like that. Delicious chicken. Uh, yeah, good time at Gus's. We got back and um, we cleaned up at that point. I think we are.
No, we
Okay,
showered
yeah,
after and then went to bed.
yeah. Well, I stayed up and I had a couple drinks and watched the rest of the Pacers next game. Then I watched a little bit of Triple D and then I went to bed. But yeah, we next morning got up like 5:15 and what did you say like that? Make that right.
5:15 in the morning. We woke up at 5:15
Yeah,
on a
it's race day.
weekend.
It's race day. This is nothing new for people that do races or people that run in the morning. People in my run club get up and run at 4:45 a.m. Now that they're psychopaths for doing that.
And those that are listening probably really appreciate you calling them that.
They're very fun, excellent runner psychopaths. My favorite kind of psychopaths. Except when they now maybe I'll do it. Now I have a great excuse now. I'm getting ready for work then, which is true. I am getting ready for work while they're running. And really, I'd rather be out running with them than getting ready for work. But I'm not on my own when it wasn't race day. Like they're running at 4:45 a.m. They're not getting up to go run. Like they're already doing it. So, but they also go to bed early too. Like they also go to bed at like 8 o'clock, which I can't get her. Yeah, I can't get around to doing that. Even then, like it was a seven. I had to be at today's race at 6 this morning, which I didn't get there till 6:05,
Yeah.
and that was because we had an issue with room key. But um, I I had to be there at 7, so I had to, or no, I had to be there at 6. The race started at 7, so I mean, I had to get up early to go do that. But it's race day. Like I'm excited for race day. Just a regular old workout, like no, I'll wait and do it like when I get off work. I get it. You get it over with. Man, that getting out of bed part when it's not a race is that's killer. I mean, I would think. I think that's where I was trying to go with that. I kind of lost my train of thought there in the middle. I'm working on my second cup of coffee today. Had my first before or after the race, and I'm a little beat, so made another cup before we could start this podcast. But to get to the race itself, again, it was the hometown half marathon. There were I was running for beast pacing. I did my usual spot, the 2 hour, 10 minute group. And it was a pretty good turnout. Like, I don't know how many people did the half, but it was a pretty good turnout, can you say? But on the pacing side of it, there were a whopping two of us. It was me and a sweeper. And the sweeper was new, kind of, yeah, was new. It was their first pacing game. And um, yeah, so there wasn't a big pace crew there. It's going to be uh, Vanessa, the pace owner, was like, send the pictures or send some pictures here, like she usually does. And I've got a couple, maybe, um, that I'll send. I don't know. Maybe we got something from the vlog or something like that that we could use. I don't know, but it was it was at Shelby Farms, and by the way, like as pretty of a route as I've run as far as pacing goes, at least for one of these bodies racing companies. It was it was gorgeous running through Shelby Farms. They had bison, and that might have been my favorite part. I mean, there was a whole nearly a herd of them on my second out and back. Uh, this was an interesting race. I did have a first on this, and I'll get into that in a second. But I had a good group early. A lot of people who said this was one said it was their first half marathon. A couple were like it was no more than three, and it was a good group of people. I got around to this pond area, and again, and by the way, June 1st in Memphis in the South, weather-wise, it couldn't have been better. It's warmed up some since today, or now it's warmer outside. But this morning, perfect. I mean, couldn't have had better conditions.
I was wearing a sweatshirt this morning because it was a little chilly.
Yeah.
And you even said that you kind of wish you'd brought a light jacket for before the race.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of unheard of in June in the South.
Yeah. I mean, I was fine, obviously once I got moving, but it would have been nice to have something if you're just standing around out there. But yeah, I don't know what the mile marker was at this point. Uh, five, yeah, I couldn't even tell you, 4 or 5. We're around this pond. Um, and I'll say what I was going to say in a sec, but it was we're running along with the group, and there's this young boy, maybe 8 years old, just frantically, he's panicking, and he sees me in a pace shirt and hat and bib, and I'm carrying sign. It's obvious I'm affiliated with the race, and he runs with me, he goes, "Oh, are you with the 10K?" And I mean, he's like in tears. I'm not doing it justice. Um, and I explain I'm with the half marathon, and he just goes into I lost my mom. My mom's doing the 10K, and I can't find her. Kid was terrified. Scary situation for him. I knew he was in good hands. So it's like we got a lot of people here. We got a bunch of people helping with the race, and he was trying to explain to me. I started to go to like look for somebody. He was like, "No, no, don't leave me." And I was like, I told him to calm down. I was wearing a GoPro because I was vlogging the whole thing, and I stopped it. I stopped it during this because I obviously don't want to post this, about this kid. Um, but I thought you had to like hit it twice. And what I did was I turned it back on, and I didn't realize until later. And we were able to look back at the situation, and that's not something we'll show online or anything like that. But we were at least able to observe the situation, or I could explain it to her by showing her. And yeah, the kid was just freaking out. I told him to like verbatim, calm down, like, we'll figure it out. And I saw just look, I don't even know if it was 20 yards. It was 10, 20 yards away. There was a water stop because this is my first time on the two out and back. So I didn't know what to expect yet. But I did see the person at the water stop. I know they're with the race. I was like, "Hey, let's come over here. They can help you." And but at the same time, this couple that were running past us on the way back, they were doing the 10K because it's all the same route. They just do one down and back as opposed to us doing two essentially. And I even think they turned around sooner, a little bit sooner. And yes, that was the case. And they saw something was happening. And before I could really even explain the situation, the boy was like, "Are y'all doing the 10K?" And he told them what happened. And they're like, "Yeah, man." Like, "Yeah, we got you." And I could, you can tell like these people it's a couple, they're trustworthy people, kind of thing. So they went with the kid went with them. But I was running away, being like, "Yeah, didn't that's definitely a first. Haven't had that happen before." Um, but on my second down and back, I saw that the kid was with a woman. I believe it was the second down and back. Um, might have been. I think it was the second. I don't know. Or either way, the kid had found a woman that was observing who their her kids, her husband or something was running the race. She had a stroller with her kids, and she was on the phone with the kid's mom. So I know the kid made it back to his mom. And I even said thanks for doing that as I passed by them. Um, but yeah, that was definitely a first. Haven't had that happen before. Hope I don't have it happen again. That's a scary situation. Have you been that kid before, like lost in a Walmart or something, or at the mall?
Yeah, I've been lost at a Walmart, and then I learned that you could go to Walmart customer service. Now, this was back in like the 90s, but you could go to Walmart customer service and you could like say, I lost my mom, or I lost my grandma, or I lost my grandpa, and they would go over the intercom and be like, Sandra, your granddaughter's waiting at the customer service desk. Sandra, your granddaughter's waiting at the customer service desk. So then I would just like wait. But also, like growing up there, my grandpa worked at Walmart. My dad had worked at Walmart. So like people knew me. So I don't know if they did that for like everyone, but I learned pretty early on that I could do that and easily get my grandparents back.
See, I've only had it happen a couple. I never got lost, but I've had it happen a couple times where I couldn't find my mom, and I'd have that panic of,
Yeah.
what, whoa, where you're scared to death for a little bit. I think my brother got lost in a Walmart, and um, I think that happened. I think they got on the intercom and said, Margie or Margaret, your son Jake is wherever. And I've seen it happen to other kids growing up. Like you'd hear, it's like you said, you hear it on the
Yeah.
speaker, and I've seen kids like in tears, crying, and the people at Walmart will help them out. I mean, it's a huge store, I get it, and kids are kids, they wander off, kind of thing. Race, different scenario. Don't know how that happened. I don't
Who
know.
knows?
So yeah, who knows? But either way, kid got reunited with his mom, so all is well there. But very interesting. Like I said, scary situation for the kid. I mean, I knew he was going to be fine, but I was just trying to calm the kid down. But understandably, he was freaked out. Um, Felt bad for him, but glad he made it back to mom. But race itself, getting back to that. Uh, like I said, I was the 210 group. I think my official time was what, 209:33. Yeah, 209:33. I was at the very front, mainly because they didn't check me in right the last time, and they had to go and adjust my time because it started when the gun time was,
Mhm.
and I was a little further at the back because it was actually a pretty decent turnout. And so it actually said like 210:14 something. I was like, this isn't right. And here I can show you that it's not right. And they're like, yeah, you're right. And so they went in and changed it for me. But this one, because of that, I was kind of at the front, and also because I was the fastest pacer there. So said, I'm just going to get to the front and cross like kind of right when they start the race. So I did that. Gun time was, I think, 209:40 and chip time 209:33. I actually I was doing great. I was about 40 seconds ahead the whole way. And for whatever reason, I stopped and either chit chatted too long or was messing with the GoPro too long. And I was about 7 seconds over crossing mile 12. And I knew the course was long anyway because my distance said like 13:28. So I said, I need to pick up the pace sign. If anything, I just slow down at the very end. And that's what happened. When I got to the finish, I was basically walking across the finish. I don't know if you got video of that.
I did
So
actually.
I'm sure it didn't make for a great video. But more important to me to get in across when close when I'm supposed to, as opposed to looking good for the camera at the very end. But yeah, that was the race, and this is the medal. a 6 inch in diameter metal that spins. Yeah,
Mm.
so pretty cool metal. But the home that's one thing I've noticed of these bodies races. The hometown half marathon medals have always been at least the biggest.
They're
I
nice metals. They're
yeah.
heavy too. They're not like cheaply made.
No, no, they're not. They're really nice medals. Probably my favorite medals that they do, even more so than the Beetlejuice, which I really liked. But the hometown half one last year and even this year too, um, as good as any, about as good as any live race that's out there. So, um, yeah, enjoyable experience this morning. We had a late checkout, fortunately, so they gave us that, so we got to go back and relax for a little bit, then get cleaned up and get out of there. And I asked my uncle Wade, who's at a lot of who's in Memphis a lot, so I knew he'd be the one to ask for as far as places go. Barbecue. He and I love barbecue. We could both eat barbecue every day for the rest of our lives. Never get sick of it. And he said Germantown Commissary was the place to go. So we did that before leaving town. And you did a video of me doing a review on the way back. We just left Memphis. I was doing it in the car while driving. Absolutely made 10 out of 10 experience. As good a baked beans as I've ever had. Like the best baked beans I've ever had was there at Germantown Commissary today at lunchtime. Incredible. The pulled pork was great. The roll was great. The potato salad was great. The deviled egg that they put on top of the potato salad was great. The hot link you had was great. 5 stars all around. Absolutely loved it. A plus experience there. Um, when I go back to Memphis, I'm going to try to have that again. That's how excellent it was. Absolutely loved it. But yeah, we did all that. We got in the car and came back, and now here we are podcasting after making a cup of coffee for each of us, just so we could essentially stay away.
Yes.
Um, I don't have anything to do after this except upload it, but Michelle's still got a day ahead of her. I don't, fortunately. So, what are we at? What am I missing, Michelle? You want to talk about the blogging stuff, but I'll let you talk more about that since you planned it and know more about it.
Yeah, so we are going to attempt vlogging these races and adventures that we talk about. So the idea is that you'll hear a little bit about and like the highlights on the podcast the week before, and then the next week you'll get to see it and kind of get some behind the scenes, actual race footage. So it'll just kind of be helpful for people who are kind of new to racing. Maybe they haven't done races. They'll get to see that, but then also just showing kind of what goes on behind the scenes of us doing the podcast and just our lives. So we did vlog the whole trip this weekend just to kind of get us started. And then moving forward, you'll see some of Graham's training runs, and he'll talk a little bit about that. The races moving forward, if there are any of his like run club groups, you might get to see some of that, just to kind of see what those situations look like. So instead of just hearing about us talk about it, you'll get to see them actually happening. So the plan is podcast twice a month, vlog twice a month.
That's the plan. So the vlog today, or the I mean, that's what you call it while
Yeah.
you're doing it, right? Vlog. Video I took today while running. We got to find another way to do it. I had a GoPro essentially strapped to my chest. Problem with that, lots of this. So
Yeah, a lot of
uh,
bouncing.
not my breast itself, just
The
the
camera
camera.
and the
There you go.
audio wasn't great. So we've got some good footage that we can probably use. Um, we'll save that. There was one part that was really funny that involved the buffalo, the bison, that will definitely be included in
It
the
was funny.
the vlog. Um, we'll leave that as a little sneak peek for next week. Um, I can tell you later. And then, but
Excitement for it or what?
don't worry about it. We're not giving it away. We've got to want them to come back and watch.
You just telling me he isn't gonna keep them away.
And so, but we
Think
do have to come up with something new to stop the bouncing, and the clicking from the camera hitting the chest strap.
it's our first time doing it. We'll do our research. We'll figure something out. Yeah, we'll figure it out and then go from there. See what we can do.
If you have any ideas, message us on Instagram or X, and let us know what advice you have, so that we can look into those as well.
Okay, and we'll do our research in the
We will.
process. We'll Google the heck out.
Yeah.
At least I will, or probably mostly Michelle. Well, yeah, we'll figure something out either way. But yeah, that was it for the hometown half marathon next weekend. I'm doing the same race twice. Uh, next Saturday, June 7th in Fayetteville, then June 8th in North Little Rock. Same everything, 210 pacer, just different locations, staying in. I did get to check another state off this. I'm a whopping 4 marathons or half marathon states down. You remember them?
I do.
Well,
Texas, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Illinois.
yeah, Tennessee was checked off today. Yeah, that was official half number 43 for me on my way to 100, whenever that may be. It'll be a long time, but I made a lot of ground just in the last couple of years. I should be at 51, I believe, is what I added up by the end of the year. So, not nothing to get too excited about, but it didn't. I kept saying it won't feel achievable unless I get to 50, and then it'll just climb from there. So yeah, we'll do that, or I'll do that by the end of the year. And so yeah, next weekend I got 2 half marathons, and you and I have a Grand Prix race June 14th, 2 miler in town. Then what's the plan the week after that? That should be a pretty good episode that we'll discuss.
Um, Michelle is gonna run, quote unquote, run a half marathon.
Yes, and I'll do it with her as support and to vlog the whole thing.
For those of you that maybe started listening late or just haven't really paid attention, I do not 5K and below, 5K and below. I walked the Little Rock Half Marathon last year, walked it, just because I wanted the Triceratops medal. So that is the only time I have gone 13.1 miles.
What was your time? She did finish it, by the way.
I did finish it, 3 hours and 44 minutes. So, we're gonna attempt that.
Well, there's no attempt. We're doing. Okay, that I see the time, but no, we're doing a half marathon. I guess it's the 21st. At least just that weekend, but probably that Saturday. Where to be determined, but we've got some ideas floating around. But that's what we have planned for the future, and that's what we did this weekend, or we covered that in this episode, and I think that's it. Um, I'm going to spend the after I upload this, I'm going to spend the rest of the day. I think I'm going to check out that documentary of the guy, the serial killer rapist guy that escaped.
The Devil of the Ozark.
Yeah, that guy.
Or Devil in the Ozark. I don't know which.
Devil in the Ozarks.
Because he's escaped and still out there somewhere.
It makes the documentary more interesting. So that's what I'm doing the rest of the day. At least that's the plan. I really don't want to do anything. Don't even really want to unpack today. I think I'll just worry about that later. Later during. That's what I got going on. What about you, Michelle? Do you feel like sharing any of that? If not, we'll get out of here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go do some stuff at home for the week. Go see my friend. and pick up my dog and head home and spend my week at work.
We like it. Really like it. Those of you watching. All right. Well, I'm Graham. That's Michelle. See y'all next time.
See ya.
If I can find the stop button. Hang on. There it is. Okay. Bye.